Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Grace, and in today's video we're talking about something that has completely changed my perspective on relationships, long distance relationships. Now before we get into this video, I just wanted to say I'm not a professional by any means. I'm not a relationship expert, I'm not a counselor. I'm just someone who personally has experienced a long distance relationship and has learned a lot through it, and just wanted to share with you guys my experience and what I've learned through my long distance relationship. I know long distance relationships get a bad rap, and when people hear long distance relationships, they think of things like, it's never gonna work, this is when I get a lot, how do you know they're not cheating, why would you put yourself through that? And honestly, I used to think some of these things too. And after experiencing it myself, I've learned that long distance is so much more complicated and so much more beautiful than people realize. So today I wanted to talk about the reality of long distance, the challenges, the lessons I've learned, and hopefully to encourage anyone else who may be going through the same thing I am right now. One thing I've realized is people often focus on what long distance relationships don't have. That we can't see each other all the time, that we can't go on spontaneous dates, and that we can't just drive over to each other when things are hard. And yes, those things are hard. But what people don't realize is that long distance forces you to build things many relationships never have to develop right away. Communication becomes everything, trust becomes everything, patience becomes everything. When all you have is conversation, you learn to listen to people. You learn how to listen. You learn how to communicate your feelings. You learn how to work through misunderstanding instead of distracting yourselves with date nights. And well, that doesn't make it easy. It does make it meaningful. And you have to do all of that through phone, FaceTime, and text. Now I wanted to share with you guys my own experience in a long distance relationship and where we're at now. So I started liking my boyfriend in probably June of 2024, but I didn't actually end up doing anything until November of 2024. In November of 2024, I decided to give him a letter basically stating that I really liked him and wanted things to go further. And the reason that I gave him this letter was because he was moving and I was afraid I would have never seen him again. So I worked up the courage to write him a letter. I put my number in there and then I waited. And then the next day he texted me and told me that he felt the exact same way. So from November of 2024 to August of 2025, we were in a talking stage, and yes, that's a long time. It is 7 months. We technically were officially dating in June, but we had no labels on it, so we just waited. In May of 2025, we went on our first date, which was very exciting and very scary at the same time. We went to Panera, and yeah, then in June of 2025, he asked me to be his date for his brother's wedding, and of course I said yes. And that's when that's kind of when the relationship kind of became more official, that we were dating, even though we were dating kind of without labels, because I don't think I was personally ready to use labels. And then so we were dates at the wedding in August of 2025. But before we went to the wedding, we went on a second date. We went mini golfing and got ice cream, which was a lot of fun. And then in August of 2025, we went to the wedding as dates, which was a lot of fun. And I basically was meeting majority of his family by that point. Yeah, so I basically just introduced myself as his girlfriend, not his talking stage, because that's all really confusing to explain to a lot of people. So I just said I'm his girlfriend. And in September of 2025, we officially started dating with labels. Now, my boyfriend and I, so there's our small story. We are still currently dating at the time that I'm recording this. We have just hit 8 months at the time that I'm uploading this. It'll probably be almost 9, but it's been such an amazing relationship. So we are about 12, or we're 9 hours apart by car, but 12 if you do stops and things, and an hour and a half-ish by plane. But plane tickets are very expensive and I don't have the money all the time to go and fly and visit him. So yeah. So, like I said, I gave him the note in November of 2024, and I was honestly really terrified of doing long distance, like I've mentioned before, or like I mentioned earlier. I was really scared of doing a long distance relationship, but it's truly been one of the best things of my entire life. This is my first ever relationship, and so I've really been trying to work at it and cherish it because it's something that's been so meaningful to me. So, like I mentioned, we have been dating since September of 2025, and 3 months in December of 2025 was the first time he ever told me he loved me, which was so crazy. And then there was a death in his family. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but there was a death in his family, and they were kind of doing a celebration of life thing for 2 days, so he invited me to both of those. One was more of like an intimate family with just his brothers and parents, and then the other one was with more family and was like the celebration of life kind of thing. And then I didn't think I would see him again for a long time, but or I didn't think I would see him again after this next visit I'm going to tell you about. So the next time I saw him was end of February, beginning March of 2026. I knew that I was going to see him then because he told me, and we were going to go on a belated Valentine's Day date / celebrating our 6 months. So we did that, and then after that date is when I didn't think I would see him again. Little did I know that he was planning on coming up for my birthday in March of 2026, and he did, and he surprised me, which was so crazy. I didn't expect it at all. Now it is, and then he left. So now, at the time that I'm recording this video, it is June 2026, and I haven't seen him for 3 months. We are praying that I can go down for our anniversary in September of 2026, but you will see. But that's a little bit of my story about my long distance relationship, what our timelines are, and where we're at now. It's truly been such an amazing relationship, and it's crazy to believe that we're almost at a year. By the time this goes up, it'll be almost 9 months, which is so crazy to think about. But yes, this relationship has meant everything to me. It's been so much fun, and I've had an absolute blast. He is an absolute joy. So for me, one of the biggest things that I've learned is that love doesn't always look the way you expect it to. Sometimes it looks like late night phone calls. Sometimes it looks like counting down the days until we can see each other again. And sometimes it looks like making time for each other even when life gets busy. Now, I don't want to make this video sound like long distance is perfect, because believe me, it is not. There are days that are so incredibly difficult, and there are some days when I just want to hug, but even that is really hard. There are moments where you see couples together and you wish that that could be you. And not that I'm envious of those couples, it's just a different experience for me as someone in an LDR. A lot of times with us being still teens and young adults, special occasions are spent apart. Sometimes one of us is busy and our schedules don't line up, so we can't talk to each other and call all the time. Sometimes you miss them so much that it just physically hurts. And I think it's important to acknowledge those feelings rather than pretending that they don't exist. Missing someone isn't a sign that your relationship is failing. It's usually a sign that you care deeply about them and love them. Long distance has taught me several things. First, and most important in any relationship, is communication matters more than anything else. You can't expect someone to read your mind. You have to communicate your feelings, your thoughts, your expectations, and your needs. The second lesson is that trust is a choice. You can spend every day wondering what's going to go wrong, or you can trust the person that you're committed to. One of the most common things, and like I stated before earlier as well, one of the most common things that I get asked when I tell people that I'm in a long distance relationship is, aren't you worried he's going to cheat on me? Aren't you worried he's going to cheat on you? And the flat answer is no. He is briefly, and I know that like him briefly telling me he would never cheat on me is obviously not going to guarantee that he doesn't, but he has shown with his actions that he would never ever cheat on me. And I fully trust in him and trust in that. The third lesson is patience. Everything in a long distance relationship requires patience. Visits, phone calls, future plans, and closing the distance. Patience is a daily practice. And honestly, I think that's what's made me grow in this long distance relationship. We have both learned so much about patience and how to be patient with each other and being accepting of the fact that we can't see each other all the time or every couple of months like maybe some other people in long distance relationships do. Another question that I get a lot and that people often ask me is it worth it? And to be honest, that's only a question you can answer. I personally do believe that it's worth it, and that's why I'm in a long distance relationship. I believe that distance makes the heart grow fonder. Distance isn't the goal. Distance isn't fun all the time. Distance is not always romantic, and distance is very hard. But you know who makes it worth it? Your partner. Your partner makes the distance all worth it. The connection, the conversation, and the memories that you have over the phone and with them. The future that you're building together, the excitement of seeing them after weeks or months apart, the appreciation you develop even after the smallest moments together. Long distance has taught me to not take the time that I have with my loved ones for granted, because you never truly know how much time you have with someone. And because when you don't get unlimited time together, every moment matters a little more. So if you're currently in a long distance relationship or are considering being in a long distance relationship, but here are some things that I would give you advice for. First, communicate openly. Self-explanatory. It's very, very important, especially when you're in a long distance relationship and your partner can't always be there when you need them to be. Second, don't compare your relationship to anyone else's. Even if you do have a partner that is not long distance, comparing your relationship to others can make it really hard to be in that relationship. So just try not to compare your relationship with others. I know it's sometimes so hard, but it'll help you so much in the long run. Third, create things to look forward to. Visits, FaceTime calls, movie nights, future plans, just anything that you can to keep in your mind on the next time that you'll see them or talk to them, or when the distance will be done. Having something on the calendar can make the distance feel so much smaller. And finally, remember, it's okay to have hard days. You don't have to love every aspect of long distance, but to love the person you're doing it with. And one of my favorite quotes, and I think a lot of you have heard this too, is "How lucky am I to have something worth saying goodbye so hard," from Winnie the Pooh. It's one of my favorite quotes, and I think it's so good, especially in a long distance relationship. So at the end of the day, long distance is not easy. I don't think anybody who's been through it will tell you that it is. I also think it's taught me some of the most important things and most valuable lessons about love, communication, trust, and patience. If you're in a long distance relationship or have been in the past, I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. And if you're watching this video because you're considering a long distance relationship, I hope this video helped give you a little more insight of what it's actually like, the good and the bad. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it and that you could share it with somebody who really needs it, or this helped yourself or somebody else going through a long distance relationship. And always remember, long distance is never easy, but the distance will always be worth it in the end. Make sure, if you guys could, please like, subscribe, and share this video. That would be so helpful. It keeps me making videos. But until next time, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.